Have you ever felt like you are working non-stop, saving every penny, but your money just refuses to grow? It feels like you are pushing a massive boulder up a steep hill, and despite all your sweat and effort, it barely moves an inch. That is the quiet struggle for almost everyone trying to build a future, until one day, everything suddenly changes. There is a common belief that if you just save long enough, you will eventually be okay. But what most people never realize is that wealth does not grow in a straight, boring line. Instead, there are three specific tipping points that completely transform your relationship with money forever. Most people give up in the early stages because the returns look like peanuts compared to the enormous effort you are putting in. You cut back on dinners, you skip the new car, you invest diligently, and after a year your portfolio has only grown by a few $100s. It is discouraging, and it makes you wonder if you are ever going to get where you need to be. But the truth is, in those early years, you are the only engine driving the machine. Your portfolio is just a passenger along for the ride, waiting for its turn to take the wheel. If you stay the course, a miracle of mathematics begins to happen in the background. That shift from you doing all the work to your money doing all the work happens in three distinct stages. Let us walk through them together so you can see exactly where you are on this journey. The first tipping point is the moment your investments earn more in a single year than you actually contribute. This milestone is subtle, but it is a massive psychological breakthrough for your future. Think about it this way. When you first start out, every dollar of growth comes directly from your paycheck. If you are putting in $500 a month, your total contribution for the year is $6,000. In the beginning, your small portfolio might only grow by a few $100s from market returns. You are doing 99% of the heavy lifting. But fast forward to the moment you hit that first $100,000 in invested assets. If the market returns a typical 10% that year, your money has just generated $10,000. Suddenly, for the first time in your life, your money has officially outperformed your own physical effort. This is the moment the engine finally starts to run on something other than your own sweat. It is a quiet victory, but it proves that the machine is alive. The second tipping point is even more powerful and life-changing. This is the stage where your investments earn as much in a year as your actual full-time job pays you. Imagine you earn $50,000 a year at your workplace. When your portfolio reaches roughly $500,000 and grows by 10%, it generates that same $50,000. This is the moment you have effectively cloned yourself. While you are sitting in meetings, answering emails, or commuting in traffic, there is a second you working silently in the background. This second version of you does not take coffee breaks, does not get tired, and never asks for a vacation. It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with total efficiency. And the best part is that the following year, this second you is going to give itself a raise. This changes your entire psychological relationship with your employer. You no longer feel trapped by a paycheck because you know you have a silent partner covering your back. The fear of losing your job begins to fade, replaced by a deep sense of security and personal power. You might choose to keep working because you enjoy it, but for the first time, it is a choice, not a survival requirement. Then we reach the third tipping point, which is the ultimate goal of every investor. This is the moment of true financial independence. This happens when your portfolio is large enough to support a 4% withdrawal rate that covers all your living expenses for life. If your portfolio reaches $1.25 million, a 4% withdrawal gives you $50,000 every single year. This income can last for decades without ever touching the principal balance of your wealth. This is the moment your money completely replaces your need for a traditional job. It is no longer a fantasy about retirement years down the road. It is your reality today. You can wake up and decide exactly how you want to spend your time. You could stop saving entirely at this point, and you would still continue to grow wealthier from the returns alone. Your portfolio has become a self-sustaining machine, a fountain of wealth that flows regardless of what you do. What is truly mind-blowing is how fast things accelerate once you pass this threshold. You spent decades clawing your way to that first million, but the jump to 2 million often happens in a fraction of that time. Wealth does not grow linearly. It bends upward in a beautiful, steep curve. It seems impossible until the very moment it starts happening to you. However, I want to be honest with you about why most people never see this magic. The earliest years are designed to feel slow. When you are looking at your account and the numbers are barely moving, it is easy to feel like you are failing. You wonder, will I ever be a millionaire? Will I ever be able to truly rest? Most people throw in the towel right here, right before the momentum starts to build. But you must remember that the first $100,000 is the hardest for a reason. It is like the excavation and foundation work for a massive skyscraper. You spend months digging in the dirt and pouring concrete, and from the street, it looks like nothing is happening. But without that deep, boring foundation, the building could never reach the clouds. Once you get past that initial phase, the math of compounding starts to work in your favor instead of against you. Charlie Munger, the legendary investor, always said that the first 100,000 is a total struggle, but you must do whatever it takes to get there. He was right because after that point, you stop being the only one pushing the boulder. Gravity starts to pull the boulder down the other side of the hill, and your only job is to stay out of the way. As you move forward in your career, your income will likely grow, making it easier to increase your contributions. But even if you never added another cent, time becomes your greatest ally. The second tipping point, where your money out-earns your job, hits everyone at different times. For some, it happens in their 40s, for others in their 60s. The timing does not matter as much as the discipline to stay in the game. Most people fail because they treat their wealth like a bank account they can dip into whenever a new temptation arises. They buy the luxury car or the bigger house just as their compounding was about to take off. They kill the golden goose before it has a chance to lay the first egg. To reach the third tipping point, you have to be willing to play the long game. You have to look past the market dips and the scary headlines on the evening news. You have to trust the time-tested math that has built wealth for generations. Eventually, the tunnel opens up and the light is brighter than you ever expected. When you hit that final milestone, you stop stressing about money entirely. Not because you are greedy, but because you have seen the machine work. You realize that time is finally on your side, and you no longer need to chase every dollar. In fact, the dollars are now chasing you. It is common for a large portfolio to grow more in a single year than you ever earned at your peak salary. That is the true reward for your decades of patience and consistency. It is not just about having a high net worth on a piece of paper. It is about the freedom to say no to things that do not fulfill you. It is about the peace of mind knowing your family is protected and your future is secure. Some will reach this in their 30s, others in their 60s, and many will never reach it at all. The difference is purely a matter of staying in the game long enough for the math to take over. So if you are currently in the slow climb, wondering if all this sacrifice is worth it, please do not stop. That uphill struggle is not permanent. One day soon, you will stop pushing the rock and start watching the momentum build on its own. Your tipping point is not magic. It is the inevitable result of your steadfastness. Keep going, keep investing, and keep believing in the process. Your moment of explosion is coming. Stay the course, and I will see you at the finish line.